Hey, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be doing another tier list. Today we're going to be rating anime based on how over or underrated I think they are. We're going to start off with Bleach here. I think it's pretty properly rated. I don't think it gets any undeserved hate. I don't think it gets any undeserved, props or whatever. I think maybe sometimes people slightly overrate how strong the characters are, but that's not what we're doing here. Neo Genesis Evangelion, I think it's slightly overrated. I mean, people say it's a classic, and I guess it is. But I mean, it wasn't really my cup of tea. I think people kind of make it out to be a little better than it is. I don't know. I mean, these are just my personal opinions, but yeah, I think maybe slightly overrated. Inuyasha, on the other hand, I mean, it is a classic. You know, again, I don't think people give it too much credit or not enough. So I think it's properly rated. Pretty much same thing. Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho is a great show. Top 10 all time. Alrighty. So next we got One Punch Man. I feel like it might be slightly underrated just because it hasn't really done anything. Like the anime hasn't really done anything in a while, but the manga's been going pretty great, if you ask me. So it might be slightly underrated, but we're gonna go properly rated. I think it's just right on the edge. Honestly, it could go really either way, but I guess we'll go properly rated. Let's see, Seven Deadly Sins. I'm gonna put slightly underrated, just because I think people write it off because like the third season. I think it's the third season. The animation takes a nosedive, but if you watch it on Netflix now, I mean they do clean up the animation a little bit. They do make it a little better. It's still a great story, so I think if you can get past that, maybe just read the manga. It's still a good series. My Hero Academia has taken a real nosedive story wise lately. I've talked about it several times. The place the story is at right now. It's really kind of, I don't know. It's not the peak that it used to be. Maybe all the way in the overrated category is a little high, but yeah, I think it's starting to feel a little overrated. Um, All right, and now we've got Gintama. Gintama's a really good show, funny show. I don't know how popular it is. Maybe I don't know how. Maybe it's slightly underrated because maybe it should get more credit. I mean, it is a very funny show, uh, and I don't hear about it that much. So maybe it should be slightly underrated. And we got Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya is maybe my favorite show of all time. It's old, so people don't really talk about it ever. Um, I definitely don't think people give Saint Seiya the props it deserves. I mean, it's probably my favorite show of all time. Super manly show, great show. I think it's very underrated. Um, Gurren Lagann, it's probably properly rated. Code Geass, maybe slightly, just a hair overrated, maybe. Um, I mean, I just rewatched it recently. It's a really good show, but I don't know. I mean, do people really drum it up more than it deserves? I don't know. Maybe we're gonna put it just a hair overrated. Dragon Ball Z, saying it's the anime that a lot of people start on. It's very nostalgic, but if you compare it to like other anime, like if you compare Dragon Ball Z to the anime you're watching right now, is it better? I don't think so. But people because of nostalgia prop it up a little bit. So it's just very slightly overrated, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, not going to rate any of these series I haven't seen. We've got Digimon. I mean, it's a kid show, so I mean, I'm properly rated, I guess. I mean, I haven't watched since I was a kid. I don't even know if I should put it on here, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, Black Clover. I feel like people don't give Black Clover enough love. I mean, it's very popular, but I don't know. I mean, people kind of write it off as like a Naruto, uh, basically stealing Naruto, but I really don't think it's that much like Naruto at all. I don't think the characters' interaction, I don't think the story's that similar at all. I mean, the basic premise maybe, but anyway, it's maybe just a hair slightly underrated. if you're asking me. Anyway, moving on. We've got Tokyo Ghoul again, maybe just slightly underrated. I think people or maybe like overly hate on Route A. I don't think Route A is better than the manga, but I do think it's still interesting. It's kind of an interesting, different take on the story, I guess. So, but I don't know. I mean, do people really hate on it that much? Maybe it's properly rated. Nah, we'll do again, just very slightly underrated. Darling of the Franxx, maybe it is what it is. I think people pretty much see it for what it is. It kind of sucks, but there's some cool parts. So yeah, I think properly rated. And we got Naruto. Now Naruto, of course, you gotta count Naruto Shippuden, and Boruto because it's all part of the same franchise. So it's not as easy as just saying is it overrated, underrated. I do think people overrate just again a little bit Naruto and Shippuden. Like the peaks of Naruto and Shippuden are like among the peaks of all shonen anime. I think we can all agree on that. But people I think forget that the lows of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden also stink very bad. So I don't think people give enough, I guess, discredit, the opposite of credit, to the low points of Naruto. And people, I think, don't give enough credit to the high points of Boruto. So it's both kind of underrated and overrated as a franchise. So we're just going to split the middle, call it properly rated. Now we got Toriko is another one of my favorite animes. I'm going to go slightly underrated, I think, just because the anime itself is not really the best, but the manga is great, and I don't think that gets enough love. So that's why we're going to do, like, if we're talking about the manga, I would definitely go underrated. But the anime, we're taking the anime into consideration, we'll go slightly underrated. A little bit of technical difficulties there, I'm just flying. Anyway, moving on to Sword Art Online, I think it stinks. It's overrated. If one person likes it, it's overrated. I mean, it's a little harsh, but whatever. Moving right along. Fairy Tail. There's a lot of knocks on Fairy Tail that I think are valid, and I love Fairy Tail. It's one of my top 10 favorite anime. It was my first favorite anime that I really started out with. But I do think some of the knocks that people give to it, they kind of, how do I want to say this? They don't give it credit for the good parts, and they kind of just knock it for the bad parts, which it is valid. That's why I put it just slightly underrated. Some of the criticism is valid. Cowboy Bebop again. I mean, they say it's a classic, but I don't think it's that great. I'm going to go slightly overrated. Noragami, I think, properly rated. One Piece, before I think I would say it was underrated, but I think the current One Piece, I think people are really appreciating it pretty well. It's probably pretty properly rated, I would say now. Now, yeah, Bakemonogatari Ganari, I think I'm going to go overrated. I mean, the first season is great, but really it overrated itself because the first season great, the rest of it freaking stinks. Like, anyway. Moving forward, Soul Eater, I tried to rewatch this recently and just didn't have the same magic, so maybe it's slightly overrated, but I don't know. I mean, again, just a bit slightly overrated. Do I want to? I mean, do people like really trump it up that much to where I should put it at overrated? Nah, maybe just a hair overrated. Anyway, Kami got Kill again. I don't think people are too high or too low on it. I think it's probably accurately rated. Food Wars and Haiku, I think people appreciate it for what it is. They don't get too high or too low on it. Same thing, Koroko, No Basket. Let's see, Future Diary, I think it's a little overrated. I think it stinks. I don't know, maybe I should overrate because Gundam is such a wide franchise. Like, there's so many like different pieces of it that probably if we even it all out, it's probably evens out to properly rated. Some parts are probably overrated, some of parts of it's probably underrated. You get what I'm going for there. Probably same thing with JoJo. Again, some parts are probably overrated, some parts are probably underrated, so probably evens out. Again, pretty much same concept there. Yeah, let's see what we got next. Trying to find a show that I know that I've seen. Oh, here we go. Here's one. This one's gonna hurt a lot of people, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Now, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, all the way up and overrated. Now, hear me out. Everybody says there's a huge portion of people that say that's the best. That's the best show ever. And hey, it doesn't matter if it's not your favorite show. You can appreciate that it's the best, like objectively the best. I hate it when people say it's objectively the best. Then you say, hey, well, what's your favorite show? Oh, well, it's not that. Actually, my favorite show is this other show. Okay, well, if it's not your favorite, then you don't think it's that great. You don't think it's better than another show. So I hate it when people pretend that it's the best show. Because you're pretending. When you say it's the best show, but it's not your favorite show, you're pretending it's better than it is. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I think that's enough. That's enough of that. Anyway, trying to find another show. I think. No, I don't. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter. I think people appreciate it for what it is. Hyoga is a show I would say it's maybe a little underrated. I don't think that much people know about it. Well, I mean, not that not enough people know, but people don't really trump it up that much. But it's also like not like a big shonen bat. Like it is what it is, so it's probably properly rated. Anyway, again, skipping all the shows. See if there's any more shows on this little filter or whatever, and that I know. Oh, okay, Bunny Girl Senpai or whatever it's called. I think I might go slightly underrated on this one because I think people might just look at the title and think that it's silly, which it kind of. But this show really is what Bakemonogatari Ganari should have been, in a lot of ways. When someone told me that a while back, I'm like, "Then you're crazy." But then after seeing both shows kind of fleshed out a little bit more, I do agree with that sentiment. Anyway. So yeah, probably slightly underrated. Give it a shot if you like kind of a romantic comedy with a little supernatural twist. Toro is just a romantic comedy. I think pretty much people rate it for what it is. Finally, I think we're going to go with Attack on Titan is the last one that I've seen on this list. And I'm going to go overrated. I think people take it kind of the flashy visuals and the shocking factors or whatever, and they kind of I don't know, I just think they trump it up for something better than what it is. But I mean, it is a good show, but I think I think people just give it a little bit more credit than it deserves. That's all I'm saying. But what do you think about the tier list? Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, you son of a